I mean, the left does have this bad attitude of go no contact. I mean, that's a big thing with your family. They believe in not talking to members of your family. I mean, at the Emmys, would it have told someone to get up there, since they all want to talk about their politics, would it somebody to get up there, not give a speech about how much they like Charlie, just to say, we had a political assassination this week, and that's wrong, and we should... They would have been booed off the stage because he was on the wrong team. So you're not even allowed to say that. Can you imagine if a left-wing person was assassinated that week? The whole show would have been about that. Is that not just true? Can't you admit that? You know, Jimmy, look, I don't think what he said was exactly right. I don't. We don't agree on that. He didn't lose his job for it. He said the MAGA crowd was trying to characterize the as anything but one of them because the 22-year-old kid in jail, his family was MAGA. As if a 22-year-old with a trans girlfriend never rebelled against their family.
Yes, to be truthful, I didn't even know something like this happened. I'm in the Emmys. Watching some of their videos, nobody mentioned anything about Charlie. I was not shocked because I understand how these people operate. They have the same talking points all throughout. At a certain point, when I look at what is actually happening, it get me triggered. But I'm glad that B is calling that out. I posted a video about Barack Obama saying similar things. I don't know if you saw that video. Take a look at this.
I remember when Obama became the first black president. And yeah, the first black president. But
when I was president, in the aftermath of tragedies, when Dylan Roof went into a black church and, based on his own words, shot a group of folks who were engaged in Bible study and who had invited him in. And according to him, it was for racist reasons. As President of the United States, my response was not, who may have influenced this troubled young man to engage in that kind of violence, and now let me go after my political opponents and use that. This lately, and frankly, coming from the White House and some of the other positions of authority that suggest, even before we had determined who the perpetrator of this evil act was, that somehow we're going to identify an enemy. We're going to suggest that somehow that...
Yes, what exactly is Obama talking about? When you take a look at this, several cases have been cited regarding the Obama administration actions against perceived political opponents, the IR scrutiny of conservative group, e.g. the Tea Party, for tax-exempt statute leading to delay and investigations, settlement, later admitted wrongdoing, though probes found no criminal intent. Another point, prosecution of filmmaker Denage for campaign finance. He pleaded guilty but claimed selective targeting, later pardoned by Trump. Surveillance of Fox News reporter James Leber, a co-conspirator in a leaked probe raising press freedom concern. These are just some cases that have seen Obama targeting his political opponent, him struggling to justify here, like that's not what he was doing. It's insane. I saw a lot of people, blowing up on social media after this video.
There's a culture of violence in a vocal minority on the left. Now, before you say, what about the right? What about January 6th? What about school shootings? You're right. All of those things matter too. Maybe that's for me to make another video about. And maybe because there's 9 billion of us on Team Humanity, you might choose to do it too. Right now, let's talk about one thing: the normalization of politicals, because it threatens all of us here at home. Right-wing extremist violence has been historically worse in America than left-wing extremism, according to the FBI. That continues to be a problem, and the right should continue to condemn it. And there's a vocal minority of liberals who explicitly support violence against Americans. And I know that minority won't listen to conservatives. So the majority of liberals who don't support violence need to talk to those who do. I know this because I used to be on the left. I'm Black, from the Bronx, a Harvard grad, voted against Trump twice. More on that later. Some of the biggest left-wing influencers keep condoning violence. Destiny is one of the biggest.
This lately, and frankly, coming from the White House and some of the other positions of authority that suggest, even before we had determined who the perpetrator of this evil act was, that somehow we're going to identify an enemy. We're going to suggest that somehow...
Yes, if you don't understand what is actually going on here, Barack Obama started listing out the things he disagreed with Charlie on before pointing blame at the Trump White House for political division. Obama also patted himself on the back, claiming his White House never had extreme views like Trump does. What a despicable response. This is what Obama actually said on this video.
Obviously, I didn't know Charlie Kirk. I was generally aware of some of his ideas. I think those ideas were wrong. But that doesn't negate the fact that what happened was a tragedy and that I mourn for him and his family. He's a young man with 2 small children and a wife who obviously, and a huge number of friends and supporters who cared about him. And so we have to extend grace to people during their period of mourning and shock. We can also, at the same time, say that I disagree with the idea that the Civil Rights Act of 1964 was a mistake. That's not me.
Yes, Obama is minimizing the severity of what happened by blaming Trump White House when many from his side of the axis are dancing on Charlie's grave. That is what I'm concerned with this video. It's not like somebody should not criticize Charlie or, jubilating over his demise is a big mistake. That is what I want to see Obama say on this video. If you look at, you realize people are clapping when he says some things like that. Someone said Obama using Charlie's Day as a springboard to dunk on Trump and polish his own legacy, shameless, political to the bone. This isn't leadership, it is a theater. Why families mourn? You can't pretend like you are condoning with people at the same time going contrary to them, criticizing them. There is a time for Obama to do this. Maybe later, not now.
My wife or Justice Jackson does not have adequate brain processing power. I can say that I disagree that Martin Luther King was awful. I can disagree with some of the broader suggestions of...
But to be honest with you all, I don't know what's going on.
We're going to go over the rules again.
He does not have a right to have a television show where he lies his ass off to the American people.
Well, there are repercussions to spreading lies.
To stop fooling around with my right to say what I feel.
Something that didn't happen before.
Does anybody else watch The View?
It's no longer down with Trump, it's